to about DeSoto in Clark County. You probably want to keep our eyes on, and those of you that live in between there and westward to the Jasper County line.
Okay, so this tornado warning does go until about 11:15 p.m. and that's over the next about 16 minutes. Well, we're just to move over to 11 o'clock, so that's about the next 15 minutes. And we're going to see if Jackson continues to see if we're going to expand that over the next couple of minutes. But as Brian says, it looks like it's about riding that Jasper-Wayne County line, just kind of wobbling there. And just to get a clear picture, we're looking at that composite image. It looks impressive on there. That's just the rain. That's the DBZ values when it comes to rain, how heavy the rain is falling through the atmosphere. So we're dealing with some heavy rain out there. So if there is something out there, you're not going to be able to see it because it's going to be rain wrapped. But as I mentioned earlier, it's moving into an area that's more rural. You're not going to be able to. It's going to be a lot harder to determine if a tornado did touch down due to the less amount of people that are living there. So when it comes to situations like this, that's why you want to be in your safe place. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to look for the storm system. You don't want it to come find you. You want to stay in your safe place, and you want to make sure that the system has passed you before you go outside or before you go anywhere. But it will be a rain-wrapped system with this. Now, as Brian did mention, this little shear marker, you're watching it not only at the base of the storm where we see in rotation, but all the way through the upper levels of the atmosphere is where we're seeing that rotation as well. As it continues to track off to the east, northeast is the general area. It's taken more from it's gone from more northeast to more east-northeast track as it wobbles through that Clark-Wayne County line and continues to track off that way. So we're continuing to watch this system with that tornado warning. Now, Wayne County and Clark County are under the tornado warning, and that does include Wayne County as well. Just the northern portions of Wayne County and just southwest or southern portions of Clark County, so Shabuta, DeSoto, areas in between that. You're going to want to make sure you're in your safe place as we continue to watch this. Now, it has not been confirmed of anything falling or of anything touching down, but this is radar indicated, which means that the radar is indicating the possibility of a tornado. Now, as we look, we're seeing more of a weakening with this. We're not seeing so much in the way of rotation, but we are still seeing some rotation there, just not as impressive what we've seen over the past couple of scans, but it is moving off to the east-northeast at about 38-40 miles per hour. With this system, you're seeing it just right along that Wayne County and Clark County line with this. So, but we're also dealing with heavy rain out there with this system, and it's all part of a low-pressure system that is bringing a surge of Arctic air back behind it. So once we're through with this surge of rain that we've been dealing with the past 24 or 12 to 24 hours, you're going to see winds back behind this. So you may see winds within the storm. You may see it a little bit on the heavy side, but winds back behind this through the overnight hours are going to be gusting out of the northwest upwards to 20 miles per hour, and that's all thanks to this cold front that's going to be diving southward and bringing with it another surge of Arctic air. So that's why we've been seeing all this rain that we've been dealing with. We're seeing that cold front get in tap with that moisture that we've been seeing surge in over the past 24 hours, and it is with that we're seeing these storms pop up, and we're being able to see some of these storms that signifying tornado warnings, and that's the one that we're watching right now in portions of Clark and Wayne County. Not to mention, not only are y'all under a tornado warning, but you're under a tornado watch. So as soon as this warning drops or advances onward, you're still under that tornado watch until about 5 a.m., and that includes Clark and Wayne County. You are under that tornado warning until about 11:15. Now, Jones County, Wayne County, and Clark County, you're under a tornado watch until 5 a.m., as well as western portions of Alabama under that as well. Now, that was the National Weather Service out of Mobile issued those tornado warnings as well as tornado watches, and we're continuing to watch and monitor those over the next 12 minutes is when this tornado warning expires. So we're going to kind of see if what the Jackson and Mobile general thinking is with this storm, if they should continue to warrant it or if we should continue to just drop it as it weakens over the next couple of scans. But we are watching this. It is part of that low-pressure system that is continuing to track off to the north and to the east. Now, if we can just zoom in a little bit closer on this and just get a general picture of what is going on around the Wayne and Clark County area, you can see that's where that tornado-warned storm is. A little impressive on the composite imagery when you look at the rain falling with it. You see the darker reds, the yellows, the greens. You can see that the heavier the rainfall. When you see the reds, you you generalize that with heavy rainfall, and that's continuing to move off to the north and to the east. Now, the area that we're really watching is right along this general area. That's what we're watching, this little area right here, as it continues to track off to the north and to the east. And we're going to continue. It looks like it's just going to clip northern portion or northwestern portions of Shibuya as it continues to track off to the north and east. But it looks like it's weakened slightly over the past couple of scans, and that's as it moves into an area that's not as conducive for tornado development as the environment that has been coming from. So it's still being able to withstand and hold on its own, and that's why we've seen this tornado warning out there. But over the past couple of scans, we have seen it weaken, and don't be surprised as you see it weaken as it becomes more of a straight line event, and you're going to be dealing with winds up in excess of 40 miles per hour, and that's where you don't want to get the two confused when it comes to straight line winds and tornado warnings. But you are under tornado warning for about the next 10 minutes is when this tornado warning does expire. And that does include northern portions of Wayne County and southernmost portions of Clark County in East Mississippi as it continues to track off to the north and to the east. Brian, do you have anything you want to add?
Weather Service again hasn't given any new updates, so for now we'll probably assume if the weakening trend continues, this warning should be allowed to expire here in about the next 9 minutes. Again, unless this cycles and starts to redevelop. For now, though, it is continuing its weakening sign for us, as Aaron mentioned. Still a bit of a threat with this, but I think we're both starting to see that with the continued weakening trend, the threat is certainly diminishing by the minute. The threat's not gone yet, but it is diminishing. That, of course, is good news. As each scan comes in, it's getting weaker and weaker. And so this is definitely, as Aaron mentioned, heavy rain and also some wind event with this, but again, less concerned with the actual tornado threat that is contained within this. But again, no new updates from the Weather Service, no indication of any damage that I've seen yet come across from the Weather Service or on Facebook as well. So I think for now, again, this is still an active tornado warning, so something still to take seriously, but the threat is definitely diminishing by the minute as the storm continues to weaken as each new scan comes in.
So we are seeing that storm continue to weaken. It's most likely going to expire within the next 8 to 9 minutes, but we are continuing to watch this. And we've seen and noticed over the past couple of scans, over the past couple of hours, you can see storms in this general area that continue to lose their strength. In fact, about that 9 o'clock hour, we saw a tornado warning that began to affect portions of Smith and moving into portions of Jones County. And this storm looks like it's taking the same generalized track where it's continuing to weaken. And it looks like it's going to become more of a possibility of a straight line wind event. Now, there's really nothing in the way. We're not seeing a bowing with this storm, so you're really just going to see more of just possibility of some heavy winds out there up in excess of about 30, 40 miles per hour. But we are seeing where the reds and the yellows, and you even see slight portions of purple and pink out there. We're seeing heavy rainfall with this event, so if something did happen, touch down, it's going to be real rain wrapped. But we are continuing to watch this and monitor this for about the next 8 minutes and see what the National Weather Service is going to do, if we're going to continue to extend this warning, if they see any signs that we should continue to warn it. But we are seeing over the past couple of scans, we're really not seeing anything in the way of rotation. However, we still a slight rotation in the atmosphere, just nothing really of concern at this moment. As you saw over the past couple of scans just a few minutes ago, you saw where we had red and greens. Now you're getting more into the light red and darker red, and you're really not seeing so much in the way of rotation with this, but it's still enough just that we're still up under this tornado warning. We're going to see what the National Weather Service is going to do over the next 6 minutes, see if they're going to extend it, and that really depends on over the next couple of scans if we continue to see it strengthen or if we're going to see it weaken or stay the same. Now, but over the past couple of scans, you've seen where it's been weakening, and that's because it's moving into more of an area that's been just rainfall all day. You're sitting in temperatures that are sitting in the lower 50s. This storm system actually came from the southwest, and down in the southwest you're dealing with temperatures that have been sitting in the 60s for most of the evening into an area where we're dealing with temperatures that are sitting in the lower 50s, even the upper 40s. So it's moving into an environment that's not as favorable for tornado development. That's why you've seen over the past couple of scans, you've seen it become more and more weakening. In fact, you've seen that around that 10 o'clock hour, look real nice and impressive, and as it continues to move off to the northeast, it's somewhat losing its strength. The storms are losing its strength, and it's becoming more of just widespread scattered stratiform rain across the area. But we are continuing to watch this, and it's part of a low-pressure system that developed off the Rockies a couple of days ago. And with it, as it surges to our, when it moved into our general area, now lifting off to the northeast. And then back behind it, we're seeing an area of another cold front that's going to swing through the area, and with it, we're going to see some cooler temperatures drop us back down into the 20s. Now, you're seeing some snow with this event. We're not going to see any of that. That's well off to our north and to our west. We're seeing freezing rain in portions of Little Rock as well, extending into portions of Tennessee as well as Kentucky. Now, in our general area, we've just been dealing with these storms that have moved through the area. You've been hearing a few rumbles of thunder throughout the day, and that's thanks to that instability that it was within the environment. But now we're seeing these storms move into an area that's just not as conducive. So you're seeing those storms lose their strength, and that's what possibility of what the National Weather Service is going to see over the next 5 minutes, and possibly not extend this warning that is warned for southernmost portions of Clark County and northernmost portions of Wayne County. Now, if we can just zoom in closer to this storm, you can see well, we're really not seeing so much in the way of rotation with this. However, there still is some rotation out there. So if you are, as you are still under a tornado warning, you want to make sure you are in your safe place. Really nothing that that requires a lot of worrying right now, but we're still under a tornado warning, and it's still radar indicated, so you want to make sure that you are in your safe place during this time, and we'll let you know when it's safe that you can come out and get back to your evening plans. But we're watching this storm just to the south of Quitman and just to the northwest of Shabuta, well to the south of Quitman and just to the northwest of Shabuta as it continues to move off to the north and to the east. It actually looks like it's going to clip just to the split right through the center of them. So if you're in Shabuta, you are in the clear for the most part of it, and it's beginning to move into more of a rural environment. Continues to weaken over the past couple of scans. So most likely, and my thinking is, the National Weather Service will drop this warning over the next, actually expires in the next 4 minutes. So most likely they will expire this warning and let it ride out is what they're most likely doing, as they're not seeing anything that is going on right now. Brian, do you have anything that you want to add?
The Wayne County portion of the warning has been allowed to expire. So now the only active warning is the Clark County warning. I asked the Weather Service if they're planning on letting it expire. Haven't heard back yet, but considering there's about 3 minutes left on the warning and the storm still continues to weaken, they will probably allow this warning to expire at 11:15 and then monitor it to see if there's any redevelopment at that point. So I think for now, as the storm continues to weaken, I think we're looking, again, probably a little safer as we've been talking about the last few minutes. Again, still an active warning. They haven't canceled or expired it at this point, but the trend with the radar seemed to indicate that the storm is losing its ability to produce a tornado, as you mentioned, moving to a bit more of a stable environment, not as much instability for the storm to actually sustain itself and maintain its rotation. So I think this is definitely getting safer as it's about to cross Highway 45, at least the tornadic potential part, here within the next couple of minutes.
Well, generally, and what Brian's saying is letting this ride out. Generally, as it gets closer to the edge of that tornado warning, generally you see the National Weather Service extend that warning, and we're not seeing that with it. So our thinking is that they're most likely going to drop this as it continues to weaken, and it will continue to weaken over the next couple of scans. But in advance of that, once this storm, or once they do drop or they do extend it, but the thinking is they're going to drop this tornado warning and just let it ride out. You're still under a tornado watch, and that is Clark County, Wayne County, as well as Jones County, that is under a tornado warning or tornado watch until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. That tornado watch goes into effect. But don't be surprised as this system continues to track off. You're going to see those tornado watches die down, and they're going to erode those away. But Jones County, Wayne County, and Clark County in East Mississippi, you are under a tornado watch until 5 a.m. Now, the tornado warning is for Clark County until 11:15. That is within the next minute and a half. We're going to see what they're going to do with that. Wayne County, the portion of your tornado warning has been dropped. You are out of the gun with this. You're just going to be dealing with some rain right now. But just to the right, as it continues to pass portions of Highway 45, dealing with some heavy rain out there and the possibility of some hail out there as well. But you're dealing with, as it continues to weaken, you're going to see more of just a wind event with this. We're not seeing so much in the way of rotation with this event, but seeing as you're still under tornado warning for the next minute and 15 seconds, you just want to make sure that you're in your safe place during this environment, and we'll let you know when it's time that you can come out with this. But our thinking is they haven't extended this tornado warning as it gets to the edge of that polygon. Most likely with this thinking, they're not going to extend this, and they're going to just let this ride out as this system continues to weaken. And you can tell over the past couple of scans, it's losing more of its red, losing more of its yellow, and that's more conducive of it becoming a weakening over the past couple of scans. And that's because it's moving into an environment that's not as stable as where it came from. But that does go. That tornado warning does go for the next 35 seconds, and then we should get word of what is going to happen with this storm system. Is it not really anything of concern right now, but this is just a general area of what we're looking at. We're still dealing with a lot of rain that we're going to be dealing with through the overnight hours. Most of that rain should be gone as we head towards about 8, 9 a.m. We're just dealing with a few light showers out there. Now, western portions of Alabama could be dealing with rainfall and storms until about 10, 11 a.m. as it continues to move its way out of the viewing area. But back behind it, still going to be dealing with some showers and storms through the overnight hours, but those are going to continue to weaken as they move further off to the east and to the north as that wind continues to, as that Arctic cold front continues to move off to our south. Now, the National Weather Service has issued another tornado or thunderstorm warning, excuse me. What is that? Jasper County, and is that Jasper and Jones until midnight. So that's something else that we're going to watch. But as of for now, I honestly think that they have, did they mention anything? It is 11:15. Did they mention anything about dropping that?
No. Nothing across in Shad at this point. So, yeah, imagine it has expired. I mean, nothing has come across.
If they haven't mentioned anything as of yet, it's a possibility that they are letting this expire. They're not extending it. So nothing as of concern right now, but we are watching another storm in portions of Jones and Jasper County that's under that thunderstorm warning, and that's until about midnight. So that's another concern that we're watching. As I mentioned, you're seeing over the past couple of hours storms right around this Jones County line. You're seeing those fire up, become thunderstorm warning, become tornado warnings. That's a stable environment, and as it continues to lift off to the north and to the east, that's where they lose more of their stability. But as for right now, I think they just dropped that tornado warning for portions of Clark County, so we're going to send you back to your regularly scheduled programming that is going on right now, and we'll continue to keep you monitored through the next couple of hours.
News Center 11 severe weather coverage is brought to you by Southern Chevrolet.